Welcome back to my channel. My name is Lauren from Lady Lauren Explore. Today I finished a complete series and it took me, I think, 4 days to complete the whole entire series because most of the books are over 350 to 400 pages long, and it is the I don't know what this is called. What is this called again? Willow Heights Preparatory Academy, The Exile. I finished all 5 books, and I must say, this was so frustrating for me. But the premise of this whole entire series is we have Harper Apple. She is a girl who's just trying to get out of her town. She was once a part of the trailer park community, and then her mother got multiple jobs, and finally they live into a house, but is in the very, very bad side of town. She gets propositioned one day while at school by this mysterious person called Mr. D. And they seem to be following her, knows where she is, knows what she's doing, knows a lot about her. And at first, this is very creepy. Like, this is a super, predatory behavior. I'm just saying. It gave off those vibes. So, she has to perform for her math teacher. So long story short, she is in this very toxic and very predatory relationship with her math teacher, and he is taking advantage of her hardcore, but there's really nothing she can do about it because he has kind of blackmailed her. There's so much plot, but the main overarching theme that runs through this whole entire book is Harper and Royal. Royal is he's the king of this preparatory school that she's going to be going to that is funded by Mr. D. Mr. D wants Harper to infiltrate his circle of influence and bring back information from them to him, but she doesn't know why. It's just she does it because he is giving her this opportunity, this very preparatory high school that go with the elite. She's going to be there. He is funding her education, her clothing, all that kind of stuff. It's just a lot going on. But Harper and Royal have a kind of convoluted past because they have met each other before she starts preparatory school. On the off chance something happens to her, the boys, him and his brothers, see it, record it, and try to blackmail her. But she doesn't go to their school, so it's not like she cares really. But now she shows up to their school and they have this perfectly perfect, convenient blackmail. Wow. They bully her. Hardcore bully. This is bad bully. There is so much non-com in here that it's crazy. There is so much. And that's just in the first book. We don't get anything penetrative in the first book because it just oral a lot. But the bullying is bad in here. I'm letting you know. There's cockroaches and hissing cockroaches in lockers. Oh gosh. There's fights. It's just very bad. Very bad. But there is some underlying things going on. Kind of reminds me of Romeo and Juliet with the animosity between Royal's family and Mr. D's family. But when we find out that who Mr. D really is it really the Romeo? Because we all think it's one person and his family, which would make sense for a Romeo situation. But we also find out that it's not. I was so confused. I don't even know how to explain to you all of the little subplots that were going on without ruining everything, because each book got bigger and bigger with their like subplots and like just lost the whole entire like romance atmosphere. Second book, they still hate each other, but it's getting bigger. He is obsessed with her. They're not in a relationship, but are in a relationship, but they don't call it a relationship. Like it's a lot, and I was so confused. But there's like threats. There's still more non-com, and I'm just understanding what's like really the plot. Mr. D is always in the background trying to get information, which is consistent. So I understand that, but I don't understand. It's just so much going on. Then you get to the book that everyone who's read this series, who gives it a low rating, hates. Well, this is where they call the series bad. Book 3. So this is where we finally have action, penetrative action. I do think that we might have it in book 2, but I know we definitely have it in book 3 because she's a virgin. So like he R-words her in one of these books first. Then they're like in a relationship, sort of. But in this book particular, there is a gang R-word. Because of something he finds out, he then proceeds to have his brothers, his twin brothers, R-word her and critique their R-word and leaves her for dead. He tells them to, just finish her off. I don't really care. So then his brothers call up the gang, and that's how it ends. But the author puts in a bonus point of view for the R-word. So you can actually just end it on what's about to happen, and you know it's going to happen, and continue on to Broken Doll, which is it's so big. Or you could just read from the point of view of Harper as she gets gang R-word for 8 hours. 8 long, excruciating hours of just explicit R-word. I don't actually, I had to take a break once I got done. So I didn't know if I wanted to read that chapter. I didn't know if I wanted to read that point of view. But I took a break and I said, okay, well, I'll skim it. And I couldn't skim it because I was just like, what? Oh my, like, what? Yeah, it was bad. That last bit was bad. And then we had 2 more books after that. I was just, I don't know how you can come back from this ending, but we do. And it gets worse. Because in Broken Doll, they leave her for dead. They actually leave her for dead. They throw her in a swamp. Someone, who we later find out is Mr. D, rescues her from the said swamp, patches her up. I think she just like captive bonds with him, and he starts having relations with her and filming it and sending it to Royal, because Royal thinks she's dead. Actually, everyone in the story who knows what happened that night thinks she's dead. Then when they will go back for her, because Royal does go back for her because he had remorse, but he couldn't find her body. So then then he thought she was dead, but then they all can't find her body. So then where is she? He starts stalking her home, asking her mother, asking friends. Then during the summer, he starts getting these videos of Harper and an unknown man having sex. So he knows she's alive. And he gets tortured with this because he doesn't want anyone else to touch her. He thinks that the whole entire thing that happened between him and his brothers, if she survived that, which she did, that was her punishment. So after he finds her, they should just continue with what they're doing, which was having a non-relationship relationship. Did you understand what I said? He thinks that bit, that last bit in the end of book 3 was enough punishment that she endured. Once he finds her, they should pick up where they left off before he found out this whole thing that made him do the sequence at the end of book 3. Like, what? I was just so... in this book, there is self-harm in here. She is numb. She's a shell. Like, it's bad. Like, this whole first half of the book is bad for, like, this is trigger warning in itself, because it's her mind frame. Well, most of the point of view is hers, but you do get royals in there too, but like, it's her mind frame of surviving this gang R-word, like captive bonding with Mr. D, and then coming back to school and having Royal, who's graduated by now, still want her. And he doesn't care that she doesn't want him. He knows that he wants her, and he'll do anything to make up for what he did. He actually didn't even know about the whole gang R-word. He just thought that his brothers R-worded her and then left her for dead. So when he finds out that the whole gang did this, he is highly upset, to the point where he almost decides to kill his brothers for touching her without his permission, or giving other people the permission to touch her without his permission. And that's actually what happens. So I'll let you know that she thinks, and we all thought, that it was the whole entire football team that did this gang R-word. But it was actually 3 people, and they made her think that it was the whole team. They made her disoriented. They put paint on them. They dressed differently while all this was going on. Because obviously she's not focusing on, like, trying to figure out who is who. She just knows that there's a lot of people, or it seems like there's a lot of people, and they're all just, like, on her. But we all find out that it's just 3 people. It's his 2 brothers and their 1 friend. When he finds out this, he decides that she needs closure from them. He then kidnaps his own brothers and the guy that was with them and tells her to do whatever she wants to them. He does not care. So she does her thing. Then she got her justice, but they still need to get his justice, because one guy, because he's okay with his brothers, they got their fitting punishment from her. This one guy, who's not part of his lineage, touched her without his permission, so he deserves to die. And so he kills him for touching his girl without his permission. Does that make sense to you? No, right? That's how I was going, like, this is so weird, right? Like, is it just me? There's so much going on in this, and this is over 600 pages. So, like, you're just, like, caught up in a whole bunch of mess and not knowing what's gonna come out of the other side. And we have the final book, and I just don't understand. I really don't understand. I was so frustrated. Like, this was just so frustrating. In this book, one of the guys that we kind of know is a bad guy, but, like, not really. Like, they also tried to make them seem like they were okay. This one person has an arc change in the middle of the book and becomes the villain. So then in this book, he is the villain. And I'm just like, okay, so, like, the first 3 books, this person was okay. Not really at the end of that 3rd book. Then the 4th book, we don't see it. Like, we don't see it. Then all of a sudden, pieces start adding up to them, and they find out that this person has been behind a lot of this, and they still don't put consequences on this person. This person found out to be Mr. D. So then why would you have this girl, why would you pay for her to come to the college, I mean, not college, the high school. Why would you have her infiltrate your family? See what I mean? None of it makes sense. And so he is a huge a-hole in this one. I was just so, like, I already gave away that it's one of the brothers. I'm not gonna tell you who, but this is crazy. I'm speechless. That's what I am. I'm so, I thought I was gonna, like, I think I'm gonna be in a reading slump for a minute because I just don't know. You know what I mean? I just don't know. I gave the whole entire series overall a 3. It's so frustrating, but I can also see why people like the series if they like dark romance and don't really care about like A to Z plot, because everything was just like all over the place for me. Other than that, I've never thought that a series would be so long in length, long in books, and still have me frustrated. Like, I love thick books, I love them, but this was just so, the chaos of the plot was just so crazy that it made reading it unenjoyable. But I was on I really was just wanting to get through this because I've already been in book 3. So getting to these last 2, I just knew that I had to finish them because I was already halfway done with the series. Might as well finish the other 2. So yeah. But I hope you enjoyed this. My name is Lauren. I post a video Monday, Wednesday, Friday, sometimes Sunday. So please be subscribed so you can get notified when I have uploaded. I hope you'll have a wonderful day. Tonight I'm going to an Ed Sheeran concert, so here we go. And he also beat his case, so definitely ready. But yeah, bye!